11 for fifth grade. Today we're going to be working on a few things. So one of the things that we're going to work on is using our prior knowledge, what we've already learned about renaming fractions and mixed numbers, and applying it. So a lot of the lesson today is about renaming fractions and mixed numbers. This is important because if you're adding and subtracting, you need to know how to borrow or how to carry, just like you would with normal math. So if I were doing the problem, 65 plus 8, normally I would do 5 plus 8 equals 13, and I could carry a 1 because I trade my 13 has a 10 in it. So I trade the 13 ones for 1 10, and that makes it 73, right? So the reason why we need to know how to convert is because sometimes we might need to borrow when we're subtracting and you need to know what to do. Or sometimes we might get an answer that has an improper fraction and you need to know how to fix it. So we're going to work a little bit on that today. So we're going to start with doing a couple of practice problems. So what I need for you, if you have a piece of paper and a pencil, make sure you have that ready. Otherwise, make sure you have your math workbook ready as well so you can take notes and do our assignment with us. So we're going to start by doing a math message. I want you to write 2 addition story problems that have the sum of 7/6. Write 2 problems that you could use to have the sum of 7/6. Okay. If I want to make the number 7/6, I could add 4/6 plus 3/6. I could add 5/6 plus 2/6, right? I could add 5/6 plus 1/3. There's a lot of different things that you could do. So writing a sum of a problem, you need to know how fractions work, how they intermingle, and that you need to know what to do with the denominator. Remember, never add denominators, never subtract them either. So if your denominators are different, then you have another step to do before you can add, okay? If I had 4/6 plus 3/6, my denominator is already 6, so that works. And then I just add the top, the numerator. 4 plus 3 is 7. That's how you would do one of these problems, okay? All right, so we're actually going to play a game today called Fraction Capture, but we're going to start with page 99 in your Everyday Math workbook. So we're going to practice doing and renaming fractions and mixed numbers. So again, we're going to start on page 99. So I'm a picture person. I like to use pictures to help me. You can use number lines, or sometimes you just need to do the math, and that's whatever is easiest for you. So we're going to talk about this first. So fractions greater than 1 can be expressed as mixed numbers. So we've learned about this. 2 1/3 is bigger than 1. 1 4/3, bigger than 1. Now, we can use fraction circle pieces to help us out as well as the number line, okay? So think about making or breaking up wholes. This is another activity that you could do. You could either make wholes or break wholes. So that is where we did a little bit of practice with this the other day. I took something like 9/4. So these are fourths, 9/4. How many fourths make a whole? That's 1 whole. 2 wholes, so I would smush those back together, and I would make 2 1/4. That's what it means by making a whole. You could also break a whole. So if I give you the number 4 1/2, if I'm going to draw that picture, 4 wholes and 1/2. Remember, I talked to you last week about breaking this in half, and let's rename it. 3 3/2. Break this one up. 2 5/2. Break this one up. 1 7/2. Remember, we did this a little bit last week, right? So this is how you can rename fractions using pictures to help you. You also could use number lines, or you could use some of my methods to help you. So for problems number 1 through 3, rename each fraction as a mixed number. Make as many wholes as you can. So it doesn't say make as many names. It says make as many wholes as you can. So 9/4. We already did that one on the picture. I did 9 circles. And that means 2 and 1/4. 12/5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2 and 2/5. I want you to do number 3. All right, for number 3, you should have drawn 15 circles. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Circle groups of 8. We have one group of 8. That's not a group of 8. 1 and 7 eighths. That's how you would do that problem. Now you could also divide. 15 divided by 8 equals 1 with 7 left over. Absolutely. Number 4 through 6, it says write at least 2 other names with the same denominator. So this is where you can use SAD. Absolutely. This is where you can draw your picture. Absolutely. I'm going to do pictures for them. So 1, 2, 3, and 4/5. So it's about like this. All right, 3 and 4/5. I'm going to break this one up into fifths. Now I have 2 and 9/5. I'm going to break this one up. 1, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1 and 14/5. And you can break it up again. 0 and 19/5. All right. I want you to now do number 5. I want you to do number 5. Choose the answer that has all of the possible names. All right. In order to do this, I'm going to use my SAD method. I'm going to subtract, add, and denominator. So subtract the whole. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Add my numerator denominator. So 6 plus 1 is 7. And my denominator stays the same. I can do it again. 1 minus 1 is 0. Add my numerator denominator. So 7 plus 6 is 13. Denominator stays the same. That should have been your answer. All right, for number 6, 4 1/2. 3 and 3/2. 2 and 5/2. 1 and 7/2. 0 and 9/2. Those should have been your answers for number 6. For problems 7 through 9, find the missing whole number or the missing numerator. So this goes all the way from 4 and 2/5 to a complete improper fraction. Remember, for this one, you can do MAD. You're going to multiply. It goes in this order. Multiply, add, and denominator stays the same. So 5 times 4 plus 2, and your denominator stays the same. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2 is 22. 22 over 5. All right, here we go. 18 over 8. I'm going to divide. That's easiest for me. 18 divided by 8 is 2, with 2 left over. There you go. And number 9, 2 and 5/3 is the same as 3 and how many thirds? This is where you're going to draw your picture. 2 holes and 5/3. You need to make another hole. What is your answer? 2 and 5/3 is the same as what? And 3/3. All right, I'm going to put my picture right down here for me. So these 2 and 5/3, I can make another hole. I smush those together. That makes it 3 and 2/3. That is your answer for number 9. 3 and 2/3. Now, you're going to be playing a game today, and this game is one that you need to print out. If you were in class, we actually would be playing with partners. Unfortunately, we're not in class, so we're going to actually need you to print these if possible, or you can use the computer to kind of help you out. So this is attached to your assignment for the day. It's called fraction capture. What you're going to do for this is you're going to use the record sheets. You're going to use 2 dice, and then you're going to work together with a partner. So I'm actually going to play this during the live lesson today. So make sure that you are here so you can play this with me on the live lesson. So what's going to happen is you and your partner are going to roll the dice, or I'm going to roll the dice, and I'm going to roll, hold on, I got to find where my dice went. I'm going to roll this one, a 5 and a 2, a 5 and a 2. So my fraction will be 2/5. Okay, my fraction will be 2/5. That means that I have to find a way with these pieces to label them as my pieces. I have to capture them. So maybe I go to this piece right here and I take this piece and I take this piece and I say, those are mine. That means that my partner can't take those 2 pieces. Now it'd be their turn to roll. Now, what happens is, as soon as I get half of that square taken as my square, then you can't have it. So basically, your goal is to get at least half of as many squares as possible. So half of 5, 2/5, half of 5 means I need at least 3 pieces in order for that square to be mine. So say the next time you roll and you get a 3 and a 5. You could steal that box from me. I know it's a little bit confusing. However, when we play the game in our Zoom, I think it'll be a little bit easier for you to understand. Basically, this is practicing renaming fractions, practicing adding fractions together and figuring ways to make it. If I were doing, say I was doing 1/3 was my number, I also technically could do 2/6 because that's equal to 1/3. So especially once we get later on in the game and it gets a little trickier, that's something that you can use as well. Okay? Have a great day, guys. I will see you during our live Zoom, and I will talk to you later. Bye.